What's going on, guys? It's Luke. We're going to be doing a Showdown live stream today. Something brand new to this channel, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit quicker than our last live stream, where we're going to review how the course is playing from today, if there are any changes from my initial expectations, as well as going over my top Showdown plays for Friday. The reason why we're putting this out on Friday rather than on Wednesday for the first round is obviously my picks throughout the week would be who I pick for Thursday round Showdown. There's hardly any differences between tee time stacks. Unless there's crazy weather coming in, obviously, I'll talk about that on my Wednesday live stream. But after we've seen a round of play, I think there's a lot that we can learn from that first round and obviously change with our strategy going forward. So obviously, let's start off with the course, what I thought beforehand. I obviously thought I was going to play a lot harder than it is. So there's a lot of scoring out there today. The average score is right around 69 right now, 3 under par. So a lot of that has to do with how soft the conditions are. I don't know if you guys were watching the broadcast or anything like that, but on there, they were very adamant about how much rain they got through the week. They actually got hit by Hurricane Henry, just like New York did, even though they were much further south on the board there. Something I didn't really consider. So these players aren't having any trouble hitting into the greens, holding them or anything like that. They're also doing a very good job spinning the golf ball. I didn't expect that. Again, it's a course with a lot of elevation, a lot of rocky terrain as well. So we were expecting firm and fast conditions. Now that can very much change. They've said that they're not expected to water the golf course much more throughout the week. It's likely to dry out a little bit, get at least a little bit more firm. So I expect scores to raise maybe towards a 70, 71 mark in terms of an average. Come like Saturday, Sunday. Another thing to look out for is the rough was just as penal as I thought it was going to be. So we thought the rough was going to be 4 to 6 inches. Right now it's 4 inches, and they have no intentions of cutting it throughout the week. It's been let to grow over the last 1 or 2 months. Certain spots where the fescue grass is, that's where you see those tufts in the grass. So if you guys were watching the broadcast, some of the rough looks very typical, what we see from week to week. Some of it looks like the stuff we see over at like the Open Championships out in England. So little tufts of grass, that's the fescue. That has been growing for over a year. So that stuff's gnarly. John Rahm actually hit a ball on number 1 today out of that stuff. I was 130 yards out and hit it to about 5 feet, which was extremely impressive. He even looked at his cat. He was like, what the heck was that? So throughout the week, it's going to get even harder to hit out of that. So keep that in mind. So what does this mean for DFS? I was playing a little bit easier than we thought. So we were leaning on around the green as one of our key stats. That's something we might want to throw out of the board. So these guys are, playing darts essentially when they're throwing their irons up there. They're not having to deal with any, firmness on those greens. And around the greens, not really a big factor unless you're missing greens. And this week, it's all about scoring. So guys that are missing greens aren't guys that you want anyways. Getting up and down, you're going to have to do it once or twice around. But for us to target around the green specialist, that's not what we want to do. What we want to pivot a lot of that ownership and a lot of our modeling to is birdie or better percentage. Obviously, with scores this low, we're looking at a lot of birdie streaks, guys getting 3 birdies plus in a row. We're also looking at guys, getting in the 69s for all 4 rounds. There's a huge bonus for that. A 5-point bonus at the end of play, which could very well win you a GPP. It actually ended up winning me a GPP last year at the Mayakoba. Victor Hovland was the last guy to putt out. I thought I was going to be 2 points short of winning the championship, even with him getting into first place and me getting the extra 10 bonus points. But little did I, consider the 5 extra bonus points of him getting 69 or lower in all 4 rounds vaulted me from second to first place. So it makes a huge difference. Birdie or better percentage is where we're going to take a lot of that around the green weight and put it on to round 2. Anything else there? I honestly can't really think of anything else with the course. We're spot on with the rough, like I said. Again, it's going to get a little bit more firm throughout the week, but that's why we're seeing the scoring conditions that we are. I expect them to be relatively consistent to what we saw. Again, maybe get a little bit harder. What we're going to do now is we're going to go through the player pool, some of the specific plays that I really like for Showdown come tomorrow. A lot of the plays you're going to see on this page are going to be very similar to what you saw coming into the week. Obviously, a lot of the guys I thought would play well in those conditions before are going to do well as well. We're actually just taking a little bit of a de-emphasis on the around the green, like I said. So let me bring up these projections here, and we'll hop right into the player pool. 1 second. Sharing it right here. Okay, so here we go. So it's going to be very, very much archaic right now. I don't have a custom model set up for Showdown right now. It's not something I do a lot of content for. I promise we'll get there with it eventually. It should only require a few tweaks to my 4-round Showdown. Obviously, I just have to change the scoring for Draftkings. Add in a little bit more volatility as well, because we get a lot more volatility on these single round slates. Up top, John Rahm obviously shot 800K. Can't go wrong going back to him. Jordan Spieth and JT are still no's for me. I don't think they're great course fits here. JT especially, he leans that around the green game. He gains a lot of strokes there. He did a lot better with his putting today than we're used to seeing. Jordan Spieth looked like a train wreck. Further confirmed my suspicions before the tournament. Xander didn't look that great today, to be quite honest with you. He couldn't really make a putt. So he could be in a spot for some good regression right there. Wouldn't mind going there. He didn't make my player pool for my showdown lineups. Where I really like going, so this 10K range, there's 5 of them up there. I kind of like John Rahm. Obviously, you can't go wrong there. But I love living in this 9K range. So just before the week, I loved living with, Dustin. I'm sorry, not Dustin Johnson. Rory McIlroy. Really liked playing myself some Bryson DeChambeau as well, and some Patrick Cantlay. This time around, it's going to be Bryson, Rory, and DJ. So DJ got a huge price decrease, yet he's sitting there right now in 5th place. So I don't really understand why he's $9,300. Bryson DeChambeau had a volatile day, but that's what you're looking for in Showdown. Put up plenty of birdies. So if he goes out there, cleans it up a little bit, I like his chances to score well. And then you have Rory McIlroy at $9,200. -8 right now. I didn't see how he did on this last hole. It's just maybe it's happening right now out there on the TV. But he's 8 under. He's obviously sniffing the leader right now. Don't hate that either. Patrick Cantlay have down as a blank. I'm not going to be playing him. He gained over 6 strokes putting today. So that's his best round on record. Don't expect that to continue. Well, he might be a decent play tomorrow. Might shoot 3 or 4 under. I'm looking for a ceiling performance in Showdown. And for him to have another ceiling round with the putter back-to-back is very unlikely. Brooks and Hideki, they were both picks of mine before the week. Hideki had a very nice day. Love the momentum there. Brooks didn't have the best day. Kind of shanked a few of his long irons throughout the day. His 3-wood on number 2 went into the woods, miraculously made a par on that hole. Really could have had a nice round. He was at 3 under through 5 holes, kind of faltered down the stretch, finished 2 under. I don't love that momentum, but again, he's a world-class ball striker. Wouldn't surprise me if he went out tomorrow and shot like 8 or 9 under par. Getting into some of the picks now here in the lower 8K range, Tony Fenow showed that he's absolutely lights out, looking to build on that momentum he built last week at the Northern Trust. Don't hate that play at all. Harris English, another guy I loved before the week. Love him for the same reasons. Didn't have an amazing round, shot 3 under today. But I love the skill set fit. I especially love it now that birdie or better percentage is a little bit more emphasized. Paul Casey bogeyed the last hole, was really up there in the top 5 for quite some time today. Didn't hit the ball as well as he usually does. He putted really well today. I like going back to him, especially if he rebounds with that ball striking. This range right here in the high 7K range, you can see I don't really have any plays in that range. These guys are a little bit shorter. Guys that didn't really play well today. Webb Simpson being a key exception there. Sam Burns being a key exception as well. But the rest of this range, from $7,800 the whole way down to maybe Harold Varner, they really didn't show anything today. Except for Sergio. I didn't see Sergio in there. Sergio on there is 7 under right now. Again, he's having one of those ceiling putting performances. And so I have him down as a yes. I'd be willing to go back to him because he's shown something on the greens today, but it's not likely to continue, right? He's one of the worst putters on the PGA Tour, but his ball striking is enough to get by with a 4 or 5 under round at this venue. He's going to put himself in a position on almost every single hole. This is a ball striker's paradise, and Sergio Garcia is the king of the ball strikers. But getting back up here to Sam Burns, we really need to cover Sam Burns. Sam Burns had 3 or 4 iron shots today. They showed him throughout the broadcast, especially on the replay, because a lot of his shots, again, weren't on PGA Tour Live, but they were being shown on the replay afterwards, right around 3 p.m. when they first went on. He had 3 iron shots that hit off the green, like in the rough, hit a rock or something, or hit a slope and bounced within 5 feet of the hole. So he got unbelievably lucky today. He shot 8 under. It looked great. He also putted to 3 shots gained on the greens, which, again, Sam Burns isn't used to doing. So, again, I think he had a very lucky day. He had a lot of volatility with the putter as well. I don't expect him to go and shoot 8 under tomorrow. You go shoot 3, 4 under. That's not really what you're looking for in Showdown, though. Let's go down to the lower 7K range. I'm much more willing to spend up for 3 of those 9K guys, or even take 1 of those 10K guys and 2 of those 9K guys. I kind of live in this lower 7K range or even higher 6K range. Brian Harmon had a great day today. Plays well at any golf course. He did well at Aaron Hills at the U.S. Open, finished second back in the day. Again, he's one of the shorter hitters on tour. So no matter the length, that was the longest major championship in history up until Kiawah Island this year. So impressive for Brian Harmon. I always love playing Brian Harmon for that reason. Keegan Bradley had a great day on the greens. He loves bent grass, by far his favorite surface. We know he's a machine with the ball striking, so wouldn't mind going there. Johnny Vegas, same kind of thing, just a machine off the tee. Think he's a great play on these surfaces. Oh, hey, what's going on, guys? Seems like Brooks never lights it up on Thursday. Yeah, dude. I mean, unless it's a major championship, right? So if it's a major championship, Brooks goes out there and kills it for all 4 days. If he happens, so he birdied the first 2 holes. I'm not sure if you were watching the PGA Tour live coverage, and the announcers are getting real excited, going, "Oh, look, Brooks is going to get engaged. He's going to go out there and really care this time." When it hit a ball out of bounds on the par 5, was able to save a par, which showed some guts there. But the guy doesn't care about these events for whatever reason. He's never showed up in the playoffs. It was just disappointing to see. He looked disengaged, in my opinion. So I have him down as a yes. I mean, obviously world-class ball striker. I could go out shoot 8 or 9 under, but yeah, disappointing to me. Thomas Stamper, yo, sub to the channel. Keep it up. Absolutely, man. I'm starting to do some of this Showdown content. Not a lot of people put it out, right? I think a lot of people don't want to put in the effort for it. At first, me included. I think it's a lot of content, but I also think it's a part of the game where there's a lot of edges to be had. A lot of people don't even put in the research. They just enter Showdown lineups, quite frankly, because their lineups in their four round lineups suck, right? So they want to get back in the action, try to make some money for the week. That's how you lose even more money, by the way. You go to a casino and you start losing money playing blackjack or whatever, you don't go and take out another $500. Not going to go on a rant about that. But yeah, we're going to go over Showdown content because there's a huge need for it. I don't play it myself very often. I play it here and there, but again, I like to stick to my 4-round Showdowns. A little bit less volatility. 4-round lineups, a little bit less volatility. Let's hop back into the player pool though, guys. Yeah, chasing money, exactly. That's what they're doing. Again, this DFS rate has a lot of tendencies with gambling, and people need to be responsible. We'll just say that. We'll go down to Pan Kazire. Pan Kazire was an absolute train wreck today. He ended up saving his round. I believe he's 2 under right now, has a few holes left. The guy can't hit the ball straight. I mean, he puts the lights out. He'll go out and shoot 8 under on a random day. So if you want a lottery ticket, go to Pan Kazire. I don't have any problems as a lottery ticket, but I'm not going to be playing him at DFS. He doesn't really make any sense for this golf course. Cameron Davis could not make a putt today. He also was a little bit off with his irons, but he's somebody who, again, pops with those from time to time. We saw it at the Rocket Mortgage. We also saw how hot he can get with the putter at the Rocket Mortgage. Same Kentucky bent grass. Can't speak. Kentucky bluegrass surface. It's the same exact grass here. He gained over 7 strokes putting at the Rocket Mortgage. So again, for him to lose strokes putting today, I expect that to rebound quite a bit. Charlie Hoffman, man, is so consistent. You can't go wrong with him. Absolutely love him at $7,000. He didn't move in price at all. Had a pretty average day today as well. So don't mind that. Maverick McNeely, one of my favorite value plays going into the week. Couldn't make a putt today. That's something that doesn't usually happen for McNeely, especially on bent grass, where he gains an additional 0.4 strokes per round. Again, that's another person I expect to rebound on the greens. Let's see if there's any. Sorry, hold up. I had a notification there. Just wanted to leave it. All right, let's go down to this range right here, right? So below Maverick McNeely, guys, I hate all these plays. There are guys I hated before the week. A couple of them showed something. Mark Leishman was all right today. Same with Cameron Champ. But these guys, they're volatile. They haven't really shown much of late, so I'm avoiding them. Carlos Ortiz, is the only one I have is blank. I'd be okay with him. He's a good putter. So at a course where there's going to be a lot of scoring, you like guys that putt. You like guys that are volatile. He fits at least both of those boxes. This range right here, I really like. So, I'd rather spend down about $200 for pretty much all of these guys. For Keith Mitchell, Palmer, Grillo, Homa, Sink, all of those guys are ball strikers. The guys that have a relative length as well, over 305-yard average drives. So I like going to all those guys. This is a golf course that's playing a lot longer than 7,500 yards. Again, a lot closer to 8,000 yards. That was completely confirmed by the coverage here today. I don't know if you guys saw hole 16, the par 5. Almost nobody was reaching in the fairway. It's about a 290 carry to the fairway. Rory ended up hitting one way out there. Same thing with Bryson DeChambeau. About 70-80% of the field. I'll look up the number after this. We'll be able to check out the fairway percentage there. I'm assuming it's about 15 or 20%. So definitely a big heritage golf course. And they don't plan to move up that tee box. That's exactly how they wanted that to play. It's a fairway that you have to hit with some length. Chris Kirk Didn't like him before the week, not going to him. Aaron Wise, really, he came out to a huge lead to start the day, was making some putts. I think the broomstick putter is actually working for him. So I like Aaron Wise. I think he's a good play. Again, a huge hitter, hits the ball an absolute mile. Played well at the Wells Fargo earlier this year. A lot of other comp courses as well. Hudson Swafford, Tom Hoagie hated him before the week. Swafford played really well today. Kind of surprised the crap out of me, but he's not a guy who's very consistent. He's kind of showed up of late. He's kind of popped of late. So I could see you going to him for that reason, but I'm just not convinced. Lucas Glover is not a great course fit here. He actually played pretty well today. So I think there's something there. You could look to him, but I'm not going to in my lineups. Phil Mickelson was the surprise of the day, was one of my value picks going into this week. It was obviously a little bit shaky on him. I called him a lottery ticket. He posted a video this morning. I liked it on Twitter, retweeted it, but he had nothing to lose. He was going to go out there, was going to absolutely kill it. Again, was going for broke. And you saw that with a strategy. Went hunting every single pin. And in Showdown, guys, he's the guy to take down low. I mean, he's a borderline lock. I mean, obviously, he could go out, shoot 5 over, but he's going to hit it every single pin. He's going to score a ton of birdies. He's going to go for those birdie streaks. He's going to be aggressive on the par 5s, go for it. So he's an extremely volatile play, but in Showdown, that's at least what I'm looking for, right? I'm going to enter 3 or 4 Showdown lineups in a GPP. I'm not going to max enter it. At least that's my style. So I take an extremely aggressive play. I'm playing Phil in all my Showdown lineups tomorrow. I expect him to go out. If he has his A game, shoot 5 or 6 under par, and it's $6,200, guys. You can spend for whoever the hell you want in the field. So just to give you guys an idea, if you put Phil Mickelson in your lineup, you can put 3 of the 9K guys in the lineup and 2 of the 8K guys, and also fit in a guy in the reasonable $7,500 range. So that's how soft the pricing is in Showdown. A lot of the guys are priced down. If you look towards the top of this board, again, Dustin Johnson's $1,000 cheaper than he was in GPPs earlier this week. Take a look at Rory Mcilroy. He was $9,400. That was already ridiculously cheap. He's even cheaper now. Louis got a discount. Same thing with Cantlay. You go to the top, John Rahm's a whole $1,000 cheaper than he was yesterday. And there's no difference. We still get $50,000 to spend. So I just wanted to highlight that for you guys, because when you're doing Showdown, you want to be aggressive. You want to take a stars and scrubs approach. I love living in this 9K range, because if you take, like I said, these 3, Bryson, Dustin, Rory, I think that's a great core to build around. You still have a decent amount of salary for the rest of your 3 positions. Again, if you put Phil in there, you can get 2 guys in that mid 7K range. I don't hate it at all. A couple plays just to point out that I especially like this week. I especially like Tony Fenow. Showed a lot last week. The guy's an absolute bomber, clearly firing on all cylinders. I also really, really like Rory Mcilroy. He's clearly gotten over whatever was bugging him last week with his irons and with his 3-woods. He hit a 3-wood today on number 16, 310 yards to 10 feet. Obviously made that eagle. That's what tied him for the lead. That guy's not going to be doing that with a 3-wood that he hates, one that he throws onto the New Jersey Turnpike. So I love going back to him. And John Rahm at the top of the board. I think a lot of people aren't going to play John Rahm. We have this, I call it just it's an inherent bias, right? Where if somebody goes super low, we don't want to play him the next day. We don't expect him to go out and back it up. John Rahm's been hot like this for a couple months now. So you guys want to ride the John Rahm heater. Yesterday I said, even though he's going to be super high owned, he came in 29% owned today in GPPs. You want to get over the field on him. You would be almost dumb not to do so. He's putting up numbers right now that we haven't seen since Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods had better numbers, obviously for a consistent 15 years. But John Rahm's starting to dominate fields and starting to get respect like Tiger Woods did. He was 5.5 to 1 to win the golf tournament this week. Tiger in his prime was 2.5, 3 to 1 to win sometimes. So obviously not even close to that level, about half the win equity of Tiger Woods in his prime, but that's still a glaring prospect and something that all the players should be scared of. So that's all I got for the picks this week, guys. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat right now. If not, I'm going to end the video here. You guys can always comment on the video at any time. Leave any of the questions that you have. Maybe it's a matchup between a couple players. Maybe it's questions on how to do the modeling for Showdown. Again, you want to add a little bit more volatility to your projections. Golf's a volatile sport to begin with, even when you have 4 rounds. But when you only have 18 holes, it becomes almost a crapshoot, right? So you want to add a lot of volatility to those projections. But with that being said, guys, good luck with your lineups, and I'll see you guys next time on Sunday for another Showdown video. I'm sorry, it'll be Saturday night for Sunday Showdown. But the reason I want to do that is placement points on Sunday Showdown get incorporated back into the mix. For Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, obviously they aren't a factor. But on Sunday, they become a little bit part of the fact, especially affecting a lot of the game theory. You get a lot of ownership on the guys higher up the board, and you really have to weigh into fact, like whether it's worth it, right? Because in Showdown, placement points matter, but if a guy goes out and makes 7 or 8 birdies and he's starting in last place, it doesn't matter. He's going to be absolutely an optimal play, and he's likely cheaper. So we'll get to that. See you guys then, and peace.